Well, that sucked. But don't worry. After the Nuggets lost to the Clippers, I know how we're going to fix everything. Me and Ryan are going to fix the Nuggets on Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for joining us and making us part of your day, being an everydayer and making us your first listen, Monday through Friday, whether you're joining us wherever you get your podcast, where you can find us for free, or if you're joining us at youtube.com/LockedOnNuggets, or if you're listening to us on the ad-free version for the Everydayers Club, you can hang out with us in the Discord and rage because there's a lot of people mad after the Nuggets lost to the Clippers. You can also get our opinion on various things. We're in there all day, chatting Nuggets, chatting hoops, chatting basketball. It's a good time. Shout out to Nolan, who's hanging out in Portland. He's in town for the game tomorrow. He lives there, so he's gonna be in town for the game tomorrow as the Nuggets face the Blazers on back-to-back. If you want to join the Everydayers Club, just go to lockedonnuggets.supercast.com, where you too could read the scouting report, because hashtag it's in the scouting report. My name is Matt Moore. I've been covering the Denver Nuggets as a credentialed reporter for 14 seasons. You can catch my work at the Denver Dig, as well as a Hardwood Paroxysm, the Action Network, and on Locked On NBA Daily, Monday through Friday. His name's Ryan Blackburn. You can catch him at Mile High Sports and the Pickaxe and Roll podcast, where he does a great job. He writes about lots of different angles. He was at practice yesterday, tweeting about what was going on, doing stories. He'll have a recap on this game. Check out his work. Support Ryan at milehighsports.com. On today's show, we will talk about doom. Are the Nuggets doomed? Are they just screwed? Like, is it just like over? Julian and Bruce had like a really good game, so we're going to talk about that along with Cam Johnson. And we will, of course, talk about how completely horrible this loss to the Clippers was, because it was an awful game. But we're also going to fix those Nuggets, and I'm going to do that right off the top here, Ryan, because that's what we're going to do in the show. You and I are going to fix the Nuggets. You want to know how?
How am I going to help in this conversation? I don't think I'm in a really good position to do so.
It's you and me, baby. It's you and me, okay? Because certain people who are just all of a sudden like, everyone needs to calm down now that Jokic is struggling isn't here. So you and I are going to work it out. Here's the thing. Last year, you and I buried this team 4 times, and they made Game 7 of the Western Conference semifinals, including an absolutely incredible series versus the Clippers, and then an incredible series versus the Thunder. So you and I burying them, it's clear. I have tried all year to be like, nope, I'm not falling for it. Nope, not getting into that doomer. Nope. Apparently, the only way this team is going to respond is if we do it, Ryan. So let's go ahead and start right there. If this is how the Denver Nuggets are going to be, if this is how Nikola Jokic is going to be, if this is how the clutch offense and defense is going to be, the Denver Nuggets are not making it out of the second round. They are not making it out of the second round. They may not make it out of the first round. They will make the playoffs. Don't start with me on that. But they will not go anywhere based off of this. And at some point, even me, who has been like, but they're so good, and blah, 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 I just have to deal with the fact that, like, this team has found ways to lose this year too many times in situations where they should win. This was an easy game to win. Their defense played great. They got contributing efforts from a lot of different guys tonight. I think basically everybody but 2 guys played well, and one of them actually I think was pretty good outside of the shooting. You were right about the defense on him, but even then the defense was good overall.
Yeah.
Really 1.5 guys, and that's the reason why the Nuggets lost this game.
Yeah, Nikola Jokic was the reason the Nuggets lost this game tonight. Let's just put it plain and simple. Coming off of the All-Star break, I noticed this when he went to the free throw line with about 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Dude was sweating. He was panting. He was not ready for this game. Like, it was very clear that he had a lot of things to go, whether it was conditioning wise, whether it was focus, whether it was just like he got hit on the wrist a couple of times, and that was clearly hurting him. Like that was super concerning, obviously. And defensively, there are some things that he does well. There's some things that he doesn't do well, but down the stretch, you needed Denver to get as many stops as possible. They put the Clippers on the free throw line basically about 20 times in the fourth quarter. Benedict Mathurin ate their lunch in this game. He was absolutely awesome for them. Kawhi Leonard was not the best player on the team for the Clippers. It actually had a pretty subpar showing, I would say, for Kawhi. It was really Derek Jones Jr. and Benedict Mathurin, who combined for 60 points and a pretty uncomfortable place. Like, hey, look, couple of athletic wings slashing down the floor. Denver in tough positions because they have to cover for two slow plotting bigs who can't really protect the rim. One of them obviously way more important in that than the other. I think that Denver, this was a game that they should have won. This was a game that Jokic should have been able to show up for. I understand if Murray was a little bit tired, given that he actually played hard in the All-Star game, that he actually was out there, and that
was for, I mean, let's talk about the tire thing in segment 2, because I know this is like this got you.
This bothers me.
Bothered you. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in the second segment, because let's hit on the high points of the game. I will say, like, this game is actually a good reminder of me to maybe, like, hey, when he does, like, have like a game that I think is below his standard, maybe, like, remember, it could be worse. And, like, look, it is a team game. They lost together, right? I'm not just like, and Joker did make a bunch of clutch shots in the fourth. He made a bunch of, like, he did show up. He made a bunch of clutch shots in the fourth. I don't blame him for getting blocked by Brook on that last one. That's a tough one. He's trying to draw contact. He's trying to get to the line, but he's trying to be aggressive. He's trying to do exactly what, like, people have wanted. And, like, Ryan, you talked about this, like, you wanted him to, like, shoot.
Yeah, I don't want him, like, he's trying to create an opportunity that isn't there. Whereas where I was like, okay, take this shot that is given to you. And the shot that was given to him on a consistent basis was the jumper, and he couldn't hit any of those. Mm-hmm. And, like, I just don't think he played a smart basketball game today. And which is really concerning when Denver starts a very offensive centric lineup. They should have, like, I thought Christian Brown did a really good job of cutting off of what Jokic was doing. Julian Strawther spaced the floor really well. Cam Johnson made a lot of smart plays. Murray, I know, struggled, but, like, still had an 8-4 assist to turnover ratio and was the guy that they went to down the stretch. It was not Joker for a reason. And, like, Joker's just got to, like, if you want to actually, like, win these games, he has to show up in these clutch moments. It is really unfortunate that this keeps happening.
Jamal missed another clutch free throw. I don't know what to do with this, because, like, the two brains are at war here, where it's like, that's your job. You have to make those free throws. That's why you get paid $50 million. Make your free throws. He's a 90% free throw shooter that's always been good in the clutch. Like, I just don't know what to do with it. Like, other than be like, you got to make them, which, in complete fairness to Jamal, I know what he's going to say tonight to the media. He's going to say, I got to make those. I got to make them. I just got to make them.
Well, I mean, he's going to say it for the third or fourth time in a row that they've lost clutch games.
Yeah.
It can't be every time, man. Or it can be, I guess, but, like, then you just lose a lot of games.
And, like, but there's this other part of me that's like, at least Jamal was, like, making plays to he hit the big three and then drew the foul to give them a chance to force overtime. Like, they almost stole that game because of Jamal. Yoke. So, okay, here's a good example. He has 6 assists tonight, 6 turnovers. What's interesting is, like, they shot 45% from the field, 3% from three. So not great. So maybe I'll check the numbers tomorrow and see what the potential assist was. Like, 6 is just like, really?
It wasn't that high. And, like,
and 6 assists to 6 turnovers is really bad. Now, I will say this, like, the Nuggets have more points off of turnovers on the Clippers. They had 21 points off of turnovers versus on the Clippers than the Clippers had on them, which was 20, even though the Nuggets did have 5 more turnovers. So, like, it didn't end up, but I do think, like, winning the possession game is really important. This other one, I don't know what to do with it, because Chris, who hangs out in our Discord, was like, but he had 18 boards, because it could never be anything on Joker. And, like, 18 is really, like, yes, he dominated on the glass in terms of grabbing defensive rebounds. A lot of those were off. Like, a lot of those are, I think those he only had 2 offensive rebounds. A lot of those are, like, he should get those because of who he's facing. The Nuggets also got killed on second chance points. Like, that's bad. Like, this team should not be out rebounding them.
Oh, okay. So here, counterpoint to that, and something I will give Joker a little bit of defense for. Look at the rest of the rebounding from the perimeter guys, man. Like, Murray had 8. Good for him. Like, he was great. Tim Hardaway had 2. Jonas had 4 in his 12 minutes. That's not good enough. Spencer Jones
usually pretty good. He only had
Julian
1.
Strawther had 1. Christian Brown had 2. Christian's defending Kawhi the entire time. I don't expect him to rebound. I expect Cam Johnson to rebound more.
But I don't even look at this as, like, so the reason I kind of point this out is I don't look at the individual. We just disagree on this. Like, I don't look at the individual rebounds. I will have to like go back and see like who let them rebound.
So my counter, and like I don't think the rebounding was the problem. I know maybe the second chance points were so bad because so you're gonna say that they were the problem, but it was just in the very few opportunities that they had. Denver had 39 defensive rebounds and 7 offensive rebounds given up.
Yeah.
That's an incredible ratio.
Yeah.
I am not worried about the defensive rebounding. Like Joker, if that's one thing that like Denver controlled that for the vast majority of the game, and the few times that it actually let go, they got cooked. And so that's, again, these margins that are stupid with this Clippers team. I hate them so much.
Here's what's weird. They had fewer points given up off of turnovers despite 5 more. They beat him in fast break points. They made more threes. Again, part of this is just like very simply, this is a game where Nikola Jokic has a D game, and the Nuggets win this game going away. Jamal makes a few more shots. That's like really, I think, on Jamal. Like the defensive numbers are good.
Yeah.
And I will even say this. I think Nikola was actually really good defensively tonight up until about the late third quarter. I think the first half and midway through the third quarter, I thought he was disruptive. I thought he was battling. I thought he was competing. I thought he was making plays. I thought Joker was like really into the game defensively, which is good because if he wasn't, they were going to get blown out.
Yeah.
But I don't think the defense was an issue tonight. And this is one of those games where it's like they just shouldn't have lost it. And I can't get to any place except Nikola Jokic was a -6 and had a terrible game. And they are just not even, they have won games when that's happened, but like they're not built for that. Like it is any game you win where Nikola Jokic is a -6 and is the worst on the floor.
They're not built for that, in part because like you're talking about wanting Jamal to not stagger and wanting like Cam Johnson to be the main guy that's the guy with the second unit. They are built for that if you believe in Jonas Valanciunas as an actually positive backup center and Jamal staggers and like they actually put resources towards those other minutes, but like they haven't done that. That's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to pair Jokic and Murray together as much as possible, and that's clearly the wrong decision in the first game out of the break.
Really?
The results didn't lie on this one. They had 10 turnovers between them.
I mean, I don't think the decision is wrong. I just think they need to play better, Ryan. Isn't that probably more likely? Do you think did they play badly because they played together?
I think that most like
you can think about it.
They don't have Aaron, because they don't have Peyton. I think you need to stagger those guys.
Huh. Okay. We'll talk about that at a time when tempers are cooler. I'm going to let Ryan say his piece about why it's okay for the Nuggets to be tired. We'll talk about that coming up on Locked On Nuggets. Welcome to the 5-Hour Energy Flavor Draft. We're looking at every aspect of the draft to let you know exactly which tasty flavors are the best and which just might be sleepers. The board is set, the flavors are ready, and only one is going to take the top spot. 5-Hour Energy has a wide variety of flavors and something for everyone. Their shots give you a boost with 0 sugar. They've got a lot of upcoming flavor innovations planned. The one that I'm really excited about is the Hawaiian Breeze. I think that one's going to be absolutely phenomenal when it comes out. But the one that I want to debate today with you, the listener, as we do this, is I got to tell you, I think apple is such an underrated flavor. I think apple needs to be a 1 seed. That's right. I think sour apple needs to be a 1 seed on the 5-Hour Energy board. That to me is like what is such a refreshing flavor. Apple does not get the credit. Strawberries out here looking all fancy, giving you that boost when you needed it at work. But sour apple is the one that is actually going to get you a jolt. It's the one that's actually going to be a jolt, tasty, and refreshing at the same time. The sleeper though, if we're going to talk about sleepers, it's peach mango. I'm sorry, peach mango is the best. It just is. It just is objectively the best. And that to me is why you got to try that one out of 5-Hour Energy. Find your new favorite flavor of 5-Hour Energy shots, available online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets. Back here on Locked On Nuggets. Thanks for joining us and making this part of your day. I am an okay Matt Moore next to a very, very, very pissed off Ryan Blackburn, who is just this is not a good day for you. It's not an enjoyable time. No. You do not like the Clippers.
I don't like the Clippers. They are try hard as hell. Every margin in the regular season goes their way, and then they shockingly lose in the first round of the playoffs every year because those margins don't work again when the teams get to play them for 7 games.
Before I let you talk about the rest stuff, I do want to say, do you know what the Nuggets did actually awesome tonight? They guarded Kawhi Leonard. Awesome.
Christian Brown, take a bow, man.
Everything I talked about in the scouting report about how you want to show a wall to him and make him be a playmaker, they did.
Yeah.
And he was a -9 in this game. He was worse than Joker in the plus-minus category. 3 assists, only 2 turnovers, but that's just because like they had to reset the offense constantly. 8 of 18 for Kawhi for only 23 points. How did they lose a game where they held Kawhi Leonard to 23 points?
So, hey, weird how another All-Star doesn't have a great game, Matt. Weird how it also happened.
Go. I'm going to let you go for it, and I'll say what I think, but I'm going to let you have the floor here.
Okay. I think every fan has this assumption that the guys that are at the All-Star game are just resting and doing nothing in the time where they are not playing on, like they're not playing out there. From the time where guys take a flight to the time where they take another flight, all of their time is either spoken for or partied. Every single moment that they have, it's either spoken for with media obligations and NBA obligations, or they are partying. Those are the only 2 options. And so they're not actually resting during this stretch. They're not. What are you giving this face for? What are you doing? Like, this is true. This is legitimately what's happening, especially with those guys. Like, they're either they're certainly not resting. They're either doing NBA related activities, things that are being asked and mandatory for them to do, or they are partying their asses off and trying to like take that as their opportunity. And so this is not me giving excuses. That is not what I'm doing here. You as a fan can be mad about them being tired, but that is true. And they were, and that is objectively what happened. They were not physically ready to go, and clearly were worse for it in this game. And that's just what happened. To me, that is what happened. And that I can see it like very clearly with Jokic panting on like at the 5-minute mark of the first quarter and being drenched in sweat. And like, look, I have an understanding for why it happened. I have the context for why it happened. Do I agree that it should have happened? No, they should absolutely be ready to go for the first game out of the All-Star break. If this is as serious as you think it's going to be, you should be ready to go and you should go win this game. But they weren't, and they didn't.
I'm not. This is not a patronizing question. Do you feel better? Because like when I do those rants, I feel better after I get it out.
I don't, honestly.
Okay.
I really don't.
So I will tell you this. I've covered the All-Star game a lot, so I know a lot of this stuff, and I've talked to enough people. So somebody was telling me that Joker basically stays away from all of the stuff all weekend and only shows up for what is absolutely mandatory. Okay. So I don't know how much of that is like him. Like, I think Jamal probably made the most of his weekend. There's a lot of business opportunities for you to get into if you're in the right settings. And the NBA does require, it's funny because the NBA, like the players are like, we have to do so much media. It's not media. You have to meet sponsors. You have to meet corporate people. You have to shake hands with like suits.
But like, does that seem like a thing that Jokic is super excited? And like, obviously you're saying,
I don't know if he did though, because a lot of them blow it off.
Like,
if you're at Jokic's level, you can blow it off. Here's the other thing though, Ryan. Yeah. I'm going to say this, and this is just what I think. He took a private plane to Los Angeles. They stayed in the nicest accommodations. They were driven around in limousines or on chartered buses that are the finest buses in all the land. They then walked into these buildings and were ushered into suites where they are pampered and given every accommodation. They have a phalanx of people whose entire job is to make their life comfortable amidst all this kind of stuff. I'm sorry that they had to shake some hands. I'm sorry they had to go do some stuff. They also got 3 days off after it. The other thing I'll just say is, here's where I'll back you up on it. I think instead of trying to be like, well, All-Star's really tiring. Like, it's really hard to go to a mixer. I think instead it's better to be like, because I do believe that you're right. I don't think you're wrong that they're tired, Ryan. I just think you're wrong to blame it on All-Star. Because then it's like, well, what is it? And the answer is like, in the NBA, exhaustion is not predictable. you just have games where guys are tired and it doesn't make any sense. Where it's like, you were off for 3 days. Why do you look like this? I don't know. We just didn't have it. Like that effort level and that energy level is an entirely different thing.
Yeah. I'm with you there. And like, look, it's not me trying to make excuses. It's just me seeing what I'm seeing in terms of what happened on the floor. And that to me was a focus level and not a competitive level, because they were competing out there. That wasn't the issue.
I mean, I think a good kind of thing here is like, what's more likely, regardless of why they were tired. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to ask yourself is it more likely that they were tired or that Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic suddenly suck?
Yeah. That's my point. That's all it is. And like, they played bad games. There's no question. It was probably a little bit of both, if I'm being honest. And like Jokic, there's maybe some residual stuff with the knee injury. Like I clearly got hit on the wrist again. He keeps holding that thing. And like, that's an extremely...
I'm tired of that one. I'll tell you that. I'm tired of every single time that he has a bad shooting game.
Yeah.
Our chat, which I love every single one of our listeners. I love each of you on a very deep and personal level. I connect with your soul, as well as the people on Twitter who I do not feel that way about, including our co-host, who will say, oh man, that wrist is really bothering him. You know, you could just tell that wrist is a real problem.
The only reason I brought it up is because he actually grabbed it after getting slapped.
But he does that even on games when like he's dominating, and we don't mention it because he's killing them. Right? Like, yeah, it's a problem. Like he's admitted, like it's a problem. It's going to be a problem forever until he gets it fixed. And I don't think he's ever going to sign up for surgery because I don't think he wants to miss the offseason doing it. So like, I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's a thing. Lots of athletes have things that bother them. Jamal Murray's knee exploded. Okay. I'm not going to like, I think it's just like, look, especially since you and I've had all these conversations about, hey, it really doesn't matter. Like, if you want it, like, in order to play well, you got to make your shots. You got to make your shots.
Yeah.
You got to do the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm with you there.
He's the guy. He's treated as a god. He's got to be considered, like, he's got to be held to that standard. Now, at the same time, it's just, if you're like, I am trying not to do what I've done all season, which is like, let's take a look at the big picture and keep an eye on the prize here. Cause I know that's just not where Nuggets fans are. And I get it. Right. I'm trying not to do that.
Yeah.
But if you take like, but if I step out of this role as like a Nuggets, as the host of a Nuggets show, then I would be like, guys, he's just having a bad stretch of games and he will be better. And it was like, well, how do you know that? And the answer is like, well, so that's the thing. Are the Nuggets doomed? Because I have thoughts on that, and we'll talk about them coming up on Locked On Nuggets. New year, new systems. This is the time that a lot of us look at the messier parts of how we run our businesses and think there's got to be a better way. And there is. Streamlining your communications is one of the quickest upgrades you can make. That's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo, spelled Quo, the smarter way to run your business communications. When your team is reachable, organized, and communicating in one place, you're not just working cleaner, you're creating more opportunities to connect with customers. And you're going to love how simple Quo makes everything. Your whole team can call and text from one shared business number, so nothing gets missed. It's not going to like 18 different numbers. Oh, do they call that line? Do they go to that voice box? Everyone sees the full conversation thread, which makes replies faster and more personal. It works right from your phone or computer, and you can even keep your existing number. Quo's smart AI tools automatically log calls, summarize conversations, and highlight next steps so details are never going to slip through the cracks. It's no surprise Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2, trusted by more than 90,000 businesses, from solo operators to growing teams. Make this the year where no opportunity and no customer slips away. Try Quo for free, plus get 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/lockedonnba. That's quo.com/lockedonnba. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. We're also brought to you today by Indeed. Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you have to fill still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for sponsored jobs from Indeed. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for: skills, experience, location, so you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. Here's a stat that says it all. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. If you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed sponsored jobs. There's so many good people right now that are in the job marketplace right now looking for new opportunities, and you can find the right one that's going to be able to push your business forward. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. Listeners of the show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets. Final segment here on Locked On Nuggets as I try and throw a chain around Ryan Blackburn and pull him from the depths of this one.
I don't know how you're going to be able to do it. Is
this the worst loss of the year for you?
It's the most frustrating one for sure. It's not the worst loss because it's the first game after. Like I like to say this, that the last game before the All-Star break and the first game after the All-Star break are the worst games of the year for almost in terms of trying to determine like and evaluate how good a team is or bad a team is. Just throw those games out. Don't use them.
So here's the thing. Okay, I'm trying to decide like how much to play. I'm not doing Pollyanna. Like, it's entirely possible that I've talked about this. Like, I wrote about this on the Dig this week. I was like, it's possible it's just not their year. That's possible. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to sit here and keep being like, they could do it. It's gonna be fine. As the
Rafael Stone said the same thing for the Rockets.
Well, and yeah. So, well, actually, I actually want to bring them up because I think this is a really important point, Ryan. Is the only way to do this is like you just got to play through it. That's it. You don't have a choice. They play tomorrow night.
Yeah, the games are like that's the good thing about the NBA is the good and bad thing about the NBA is there's a game within 48 hours every single time.
Yeah, and you just keep going. But also a reminder, I just want to like because on Locked On NBA, like I'm talking about this stuff every single week. I've had conversations on, are the Rockets spiraling out of control? The Rockets have won a bunch of games. They beat the Hornets tonight. That was a really good win. They've actually peeled off of a really good stretch of basketball. They hate each other, but they've peeled off a really good stretch of basketball. The Minnesota Timberwolves, are they the hottest team in the West? Are they a possible Western Conference sleeper finals contender? They can't get anything together. They are spiraling. They haven't played well. It's been a real struggle. The Los Angeles Lakers, are they actually dangerous? They can't beat anybody with a pulse, but they're going to start playing better now they got Austin Reeves and Luka back. Like, the season's a roller coaster, and I think this is the worst point of the season because we thought it was going to be when Joker went out.
Yeah,
when Joker went out, everybody was like, they're not going to win a game until he gets back, and they went 10-6. And this has gone beyond what I expected when he came back. It's just been worse because he's been worse.
Yeah,
but also, it's like, well, if he's hurt, then and he's got to keep playing. But here's the thing: it's just like you play a little bit, and it hurts a little bit less the next day, and it hurts a little bit less the next day. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, Joker had a really good game. Oh, Joker had two really good. Oh, Joker had a great game that game. Oh, he was okay the next game. Oh, he didn't play so well in that one, but he was really great the next game. And there is 58 days until the NBA playoffs.
It's not a lot of time.
Yes, it is. It's a lot of time, man. Man, that's 2 months. Right, it's 2 months. There's 2 months.
My big concern, and you can talk me off this ledge, is that they just don't really have a strong identity right now. It feels like they are a variety of different teams that are trying to coalesce together because they've gone through so many different injuries. And I don't really know who to trust from night to night in terms of what are the mechanisms in which they are going to win, in which they are going to be able to create good defensive habits, in which they are going to be able to stop opposing teams and go on runs and maintain those on a consistent basis.
I think actually here's like the sneaky part because this stuff escapes us because we're so captured by the whatever the headline is. Cam's had like a really good 2 weeks since he came back.
That's true.
Bruce Brown is playing really great basketball over the last month. He's been really good most nights. Julian Strawther's a guy.
Turned out to be. He was great tonight.
Yeah, I'm glad he started. Christian Brown looks much more like Christian Brown. He got the layup, the dunk blocked, but like, okay, he took off from too far and he had to finish the layup. He did that all the time last year. Collins made a great play on it. That was not like he didn't dunk. That was the reaction to that is insane. Like it was fine.
So 2 for 7 for Cam Johnson from 3, 0 for 6 for Jokic, 2 for 5 for Murray, 6 of 10 for Julian. Are you concerned at all that Christian Brown only attempted 1 3 again?
I'd have to go back and see how they were guarding. I had to go back and see, right?
To me, like he's kind of operating in that dunker spot a lot of the time and just like operating as the Aaron Gordon role. So it's not as big of a deal, but like at some point he's going to have to start shooting these threes, man.
I mean, I'd have to go back and like, how many record scratches do you think he had tonight? You remember a lot? Because I don't remember a lot.
Like it wasn't a record scratch.
So that's the whole thing is like, I mind when Christian has high record scratch games, then that's a problem.
Sure.
If he's not in position to record scratch, then I don't have an issue. Tim had a bad night. Tim Hardaway Jr. did not have a good night.
Bad late foul.
Yeah, that foul was really bad.
Yeah. He apologized to the team after the game, apparently.
Spencer looked like a guy who had suffered a concussion and then had been worried about his contract for 4 or 5 days.
Fair.
JV was awesome. JV was great. Like, so here, I know that's not an identity. You're right. So the problem is like their identity early in the season was we are the smartest offensive team ever, and we are lethal from everywhere on the floor.
Yeah. And
the system is not functioning right now. It's just not because of the inconsistency with the pieces. And they may never get healthy. That might happen. They just might never get healthy. But I'm also, there's just such a wide gap between like people are like, this is not a playoff team. Okay. Okay. The Warriors are not a playoff team.
The Nuggets were a playoff team last year when they were like, this year they are way better than that and have the ceiling of a championship team. Last year they did not.
Now they are since November, they have moved further and further away from the standard that they have to get. To.
That's true.
Biscus says stop blaming Jokic and Jamal. Sir, who else are we supposed to blame for this one? Like, I do not know how you watch this game and come to another conclusion. If Cam Johnson had played badly, I would talk about Cam Johnson. I really would. If Christian Brown, I've flamed Christian Brown before. I've said when I thought Jamal Murray's had bad game. Like, the job is to talk about what happened. You don't get to magically choose what happened just because you don't like that outcome.
There's a lot of people blaming David Adelman. Again.
Oh yeah, icing Jamal on the free throws was not. Here's the thing, though. To me, it's just like I don't think Adelman thought for a second Jamal was missing that free throw.
I mean, he's always going to assume the best of his guys in the right situation. All you can do is put them in the situation to make the play.
Oh, we're not doing this, man. We're not blaming Aaron Gordon for suffering injuries. Players get hurt. You want to try and convince me that Aaron Gordon doesn't take care of his body? Have you seen the man? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm blocking him. That's all I'm
doing. It's a ridiculous take. Like it's something that Aaron probably cannot help.
So I think Adelman, it's really interesting because it's just like Adelman's done so many things better than Malone did, but there are these key things. It's just like, this is like the trade-off. Like we said this on the last time that they lost a clutch game. I do kind of look at this and go, you had an identity under Malone. You were nails. He's a hothead and he harps on the details and drives everyone crazy, but they execute it in the clutch every time. And like, I don't know if that's connected. This is an honest to God question or an honest to God statement. When somebody says like, well, I don't know if, it usually means I doubt if. That's not what I'm saying here. I do not know how to parse clutch stuff. I don't. Because here's what I can tell you is that the same players are good in the clutch most years, but they will have outlier years where it's like they just weren't good in the clutch that year. Why? I don't know. Most teams, it's like, oh, this team was great in the clutch the last 2 years. Were they good in the clutch this year? No. Why? I don't know. Like, Anthony Edwards was repulsive in the clutch last year. Do you think Anthony Edwards not a clutch player?
Yeah, no, he's just fine. Is this the same team as those other teams? Is this just a different iteration of the team and something where you can't necessarily take previous iterations because new coach, new supporting cast, new defensive formula? I mean, say what you want about Ryan Saunders, but their defense was way better in the clutch than this. And I can say a lot poor about Ryan Saunders'
Well, actually, that's a good question. So their numbers are worse. Do you think? I know the numbers are worse. Do you feel like the defense is worse than last year?
I don't feel like it is worse, but the numbers are screaming that it is in every sense of the word. And it's because they cannot force turnovers. They just can't do it. Like, and when they do force turnovers, it puts them out of position for everything else.
Man, we've got Jokic is exiting his prime at age 30.
He's 31. 31. Just had
now he's 31 tonight. Happy birthday to Jokic.
He's basically dead.
By the way, what do you think? So man, I hadn't even thought about this because I just hadn't put it together. You're trying to use the All-Star thing, Ryan?
I'm trying to use anything. Like,
Ryan, isn't it more likely that they had the LA flu?
Of course, that's what I said, that they're partying the entire time. Like, I wasn't trying to say that it was because of the All-Star festivities by themselves.
You were trying to make the case that they were doing media, that they were tired from doing media.
Somebody was going to Vegas, man. Like, this isn't like rocket science here. They were not ready to go for a variety of reasons.
It would make a lot of sense if for Joker's birthday, they went to this because they flew out yesterday after practice. They stayed the night. They went out for Joker's birthday and had rakia.
Of course they did.
Just say that. That's that you're gonna get a lot more people that are gonna be like, all right, fair enough. I got S-faced on my birthday too, rather than, they went.
I said they're gassed.
They went to this mixer and the crudites were just stale, and the Mountain Dew, they didn't have Baja Blast.
I couldn't even tell you what a crudite is.
I know what crudite is. I would make it a killer hors d'oeuvres platter. Blame the rakia, Big Honey says. There we go. That's what
I mean. We have plenty of evidence, by the way, that the rakia got to go for a lot of reasons.
So I think a lot of this is like, it feels bad. You should feel bad. Like, as a fan, like you should feel bad. I'm not going to sit here and be like, don't get frustrated. No, you should be frustrated. Come on. This game sucked. Yeah. I would be so frustrated. Like, I'm frustrated. I'm just like, are you kidding me, guys? Like, seriously.
Just like be serious about this. Like,
this game was on a silver platter for you. Like, and 11 of 20 from the field in the fourth quarter, 1 of 6 from 3. Like, the 3-point stuff was bad, and I don't really know what to do about that because I don't know the quality of looks. The Clippers are a pretty good defensive team. I'll have to go back and see how Mathurin scored, whether it was pick and roll or if it was isolation, just kind of know who the culprit was there. Mathurin's going to do this, by the way. Like, get ready for this with the Clippers. This is like,
yeah, no, this is what he's there for.
He's gonna do this for 8 years with the Clippers. That's what's gonna happen. So y'all better crash out next stream if they lose. I don't know if I will though, because it's like they're on a back-to-back, man.
I believe I will.
Like, I mean, for me, I'm just like, it's a back-to-back versus one of the hardest playing teams in the league. That's the team that drives me nuts. I feel the way about Portland, the way Ryan does about the Clippers.
Portland is the try-hardiest of try-hard teams.
Try-hard team.
Oh my God. I hate watching Toumani Camara play defense because it's like, oh my gosh, it looks like he got absolutely flambéed. Like every time he tries to go over a screen or takes a charge. It's actually, oh gosh, the two most annoying teams in the NBA back-to-back is just like, what a way to start the post All-Star break.
I also just think that it's probably time for like a come to Jesus meeting from somebody. And like, I will definitely say this. One of the reasons that they wanted Adelman is because he's laid back. He is not a loon like Malone. But they've talked about how much he'll yell. They've talked about it. It's time. Like, somebody is going to have to get in there and straighten that team out and just be like, all right, we're done.
Isn't that what the veterans are there for?
I mean, at this point, it's not the veterans; it's the superstars. That's what the superstars.
Oh yeah, and like I count them as veterans. I think Jamal Murray is in his 10th season in the NBA. Jokic is in his 11th season.
In 2019, it was like, all right, Paul Millsap's going to have to like be the adult in the room. Now it's like, no, like Jamal and Nikola have to be the ones.
You guys know what it takes. You guys understand. You have to be ready for this.
And I think Murray's been a great leader this year. I think he's been a phenomenal leader.
He stepped up without Joker in a tremendous way.
If we want to talk about like the long-term effects of this stuff, or if we want to talk about this stuff being broader than just the Rakia, that to me is like Jamal's slide to me is I talked about this while it was happening, is that he burned so much because he had to keep them afloat in January.
I think they all did, if I'm being honest.
But I don't know who that replies to. Like Tim Hardaway Jr. Like, is Tim Hardaway Jr. like really doing that much? Like, Tim's been great, but Tim does the same stuff every single night. He plays 25 to 30 minutes. He runs up, he shoots threes.
Yeah, the margins are so important though for a gunner like that, where he was making those shots at an extremely high clip, and then the
but I also told you I was like he's going to struggle in March, and everyone's going to be like, "What's going on?"
Yeah,
right.
Part of it is because you're playing so well in January.
Yeah. So, I mean, some of this just ebbs and flows. We'll see where they kind of get to. Look, if they crash out, this season's a failure. I mean, it's going to be, the changes will be catastrophic.
Yeah, well, that's the other reason why, and I just want to, like, last thing with this. One of the biggest reasons why Nuggets fans are so stressed is because they can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, they can see the darkness.
And it's a train. No, they see the light.
Yeah, they can see the train coming.
Yeah.
And that train is the luxury tax ducking once again. And
the train is Jokic's extension decision. That's the train.
Like, you have to get this right. There is no tomorrow. You have to get it done today. And that puts a lot of pressure on a lot of people. And I wonder, like, Adelman, I hope is the right person for the job in terms of normalizing things for everybody. But like, there's a lot of pressure on everybody involved. And I just don't know, like, they couldn't do anything at the trade deadline because they don't have the assets. They couldn't do anything, or the contracts for that matter. They couldn't really make much changes because all you're assuming is that, hey, once you get healthy, everything's going to be fine. That may or may not be true. Like, we just don't know. So there's a lot of waiting and kicking the can down to the road. And in the meantime, they don't look very good.
It is going to be funny if, like, they get healthy and they're just back to being awesome, though.
It would be awesome. It would shut a lot of people up, including me. And then I'd be miserable for a different reason. It'd be great.
That's Ryan Blackburn, everybody. You can catch the work over Mile High Sports, the Pickaxe and Roll podcast. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to do Swipe and Gripe tomorrow in the afternoon. So you'll get Swipe and I talking tomorrow afternoon. I'm sure he will be so defensive, and I'm just going to have to, like, approach him like a feral cat and be like, "It's okay, buddy. It's okay. Okay. I'm not here to attack you or your precious Joker. It's okay." We will also be back tomorrow night after the Blazers game. Ryan and I are going to Rochambeau for who has to do the solo of that tomorrow night, where, like, both of us are like, I will fall on the sword. I will fall on the sword.
I wanted to fall on the sword, and I'm not so sure anymore.
Now, never mind. He was all being like, "I got you, buddy. I'm here for you." And they lose once to the Clippers, and Ryan's like, "You do this show. I'm out." Hope you guys have a great day. Make sure to check out LockedOnNuggets.supercast.com. Sign up for the Everydayers Club. We're having a blast in there. You guys will get a lot of stuff that you're going to enjoy. I'm going to start doing mini episodes that are just going to be like my thoughts on whatever's going on with the Nuggets for that day. Appreciate you guys being with us. We'll see you guys again next time on Locked On Nuggets. What is it about the Clippers that drives everybody?
It's going to be fine. 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 It's going to be fine.